When are people going to learn that just having a gimmick in a movie doesn't automatically make it good? You can have a gimmick in a good movie, but the gimmick itself doesn't make it good. Here, the latest film from Robert Zemeckis is a good example. On the surface, it's an interesting concept, showing a particular spot in America throughout the ages, from dinosaur times through native times, the Revolutionary War, and so on to now, all shown in one locked camera shot. But the execution is awkward, off-putting, and frankly boring. It's not helped by the nonlinear narrative, where various shots are faded into various time periods. Oh, it's a neat bit of staging, and the way certain parts of the frame fade into other times, allowing you to see them side by side, is a neat bit of trickery. But it never gets going as a story. Feels more like an artistic short film stretched to an hour 45. I guess they were going for a stage play feel, since the set only extends so far, but this is more of an off-Broadway production from a first-time auteur that'll never make its money back. Or maybe a neat student film from a kid showing he really knows how to use the editing software. But a movie? Not so much. And the clunky dialogue and wooden acting doesn't help either. Like a play, there are moments where the characters give their inner monologues directly to the audience, breaking conversations already in swing and turning to the camera as the lights fade to focus on them as individuals. But with a movie like this, where you're supposed to be watching real life play out through the ages, having someone literally turn to the camera and say, "I shall not miss this place," or "I, Benjamin Franklin, remember holding your father, my son, on my knee, and now here I am with my grandson and my son." No one has ever talked like this. This isn't a normal human conversation, and the delivery was so poor you wonder if the actors are friends of the producers. Except, there are some amazing actors in this movie. Tom Hanks and Robin Wright are back working with Zemeckis, and that should have been a grand slam. But maybe Forrest Gump was an accident, because a bare fraction of their talents show through here. Paul Bettany outshone just about everybody in the cast, but even he fell prey to the heavy-handed script. And for a movie about a place in various times, some of the most important moments in human history are glossed over or ignored. Slavery is given the barest nod. The Revolutionary War is glossed over with, "My father and I shall never agree on independence," flashing to a soldier on horseback declaring, "A missive from George Washington! The Redcoats have surrendered!" and then blanding his way off the screen. The Civil War rights era is ignored. The Civil War is a myth, apparently. Pearl Harbor is a barely heard radio announcement. 9/11 apparently never happened. But boy, oh boy, do we get some heavy-handed looks at the influenza outbreak of 1918 and COVID. Oh, and a full fifth of the movie is dedicated to the invention of the lazy boy. So 9/11 wasn't important enough, but being able to recline in a chair is worth 20 minutes of screen time? Neat. I think someone misunderstood what historical significance means. And I think Zemeckis also forgot that having a locked camera doesn't mean you can't have interesting blocking to the shots. The framing device gives a claustrophobic feel to the film, even before the house most of it takes place in is supposedly built. It just so happens that the most significant events in this region happen in the same 200 square feet, even when there's an entire forest to explore. People move around over or under the camera in awkward ways, like instead of them just living their lives, they know these are the boundaries of the camera's field of view, which at one point leads to an entire third of the frame being taken up by a dead woman's nostrils for 3 minutes. Thanks, Robert. Ew. I know these scenes are supposed to feel significant, but because of the wooden way the people involved are avoiding being too close or too far from the camera, it felt like, well, what it was, actors trying to stay in frame. For a movie that was telling the story of life throughout time, there's precious little life in the movie. The most emotional connection you can hope to have with the characters is what you feel when you see a random Facebook post from someone you don't know about their life. You'll feel for them for a second, and then you'll ask, "What's for dinner?" It's a dead endeavor held up by a clever gimmick that was already dead on arrival. I respect the ambition, but not all experiments work the first time. As it is, this movie should only be watched by film students interested in set design or as a stepping stone for someone to do it better in the future. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Was it a brilliant masterpiece or a boring flop? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more reviews like this one, like, subscribe, and until next time, happy viewing. Well, that was good timing.